Tiny Terrors presents Trailed by the Dead, a true haunted Chicago ghost story.
My girlfriend and I wanted to go on a ghost tour hosted by the popular Chicago historian Richard Crow. I called to make a reservation, but everything was sold out. All tours were booked. It was too close to Halloween. We talked about it and agreed we're familiar with most of the haunted Chicago folklore, so we decided to do our own ghost tour. Everyone in the Chicago area is familiar with Resurrection Mary, so we figured that was as good a place to start. We drove out there and, what do you know, we ran into Richard Crow's tour bus, so we just hung back and followed them. From there we followed his bus to, I think it was Bullfrog Lake, where a blue light is said to float over the water, or something like that. I don't remember, but then my girlfriend had to pee. When she was done, we lost track of the tour bus during our bathroom break, so we thought of a few places that were said to be haunted. So we drove to a cemetery by 111th and Pulaski and snuck around gates and took pictures. Remember, this was the mid-1990s, no cell phones. All photos I had to take later to get developed. Then we went to a cemetery on Kidsey. I don't remember the cross street. 71st maybe, but the gates were open. It was maybe 10 p.m., so let's just drive in. As soon as we crossed those gates, my girlfriend started shaking, saying, "Let's get out of here. Let's get out of here. I don't like it." But we were already on a path, in the dark, where I didn't see anywhere to turn without hitting tombstones. But now, tears are streaming down her face, and she's yelling at me to leave the cemetery. I finally get back across the cemetery gate, and she has her head in her hands, saying, "I've got a headache." So we drove back to my apartment, and, exhausted, the first thing we did was lay down on the couch. The kitchen light turns on. The kitchen light has been broken for a while now. She knew it too. This was very strange. We sat up like rigor mortis set in. We looked at each other and said, "Let's watch cartoons." We heard the neighbor and her boyfriend coming up the stairs. We were cool with them, so thought we'd share the experience with the kitchen light. The boyfriend is the skeptic, and I guess part-time electrician, so he climbed up on the stepladder and couldn't figure out how to turn it off. His girlfriend thanked us for the dose of insomnia. My girlfriend left, and I was eventually able to get the light bulb out and get some sleep. I woke up the next morning and had the news on while making my coffee when I heard of a murder in the cemetery we were in the night before. The news was saying a small group of gang members went in to pay respects to a recently deceased brother when one of the girls there said she was going to walk across the street to the convenience store for some snacks. Soon after, a group of rival gang members went in, fired on them, killing one. I freaked out on that news, so much so that I tried to find answers. Ghosts weren't popular at this time, and the internet was new as well. At least for me. Richard Crow had no information, but a couple that lived in the same area that had a little discussion board about ghost-type stuff said it isn't uncommon for spirits to follow you home. Did a spirit follow us home that night?
That was a true story submitted to us by Uncle Jinx. Have you ever been followed home by a spirit? Tell us about your experience in the comments below. Look out for part 2 of this tale when we flip the switch and hear this story from the ghost perspective. Like and subscribe for more spooky tales.